Hello everyone. So I have a really quick and easy one layer card to share with you guys today. The challenge for Bellerific Friday this week was to do paper piecing, which is kind of a no-brainer for me. I tend to do that with a lot of these images, but I thought today I would keep things really simple. So I've got some MFT craft cardstock, and then I stamped this Uptown Girl Audrey Loves Makeup with MFT's Black Licorice Hybrid ink. And then I inked up the sentiment, and I'm using my stamp positioner to make sure I get this stamped straight on the card. I want to do this before I do any coloring or anything else to make sure I don't go to all that work and then stamp the sentiment and have it be crooked, especially when, like I said, I want this to be a one layer card. I don't want to have to adhere anything over it. So got that stamped straight, and then I decided I'm going to use my Spectrum Noir colored pencils to color in the image. When I first thought about making this card, I was going to do it with heavyweight white cardstock and color it with Copics. I don't know, I haven't experimented enough with that on a one layer card to have it where I liked it. I can still see, some of the color on the inside of the card. Yeah, I don't know, people when they say like, oh, it doesn't bleed through or anything else. I haven't tried the new, like Simon Says Stamp 120 pound yet, so I can't say, but this is a guaranteed no-brainer for me. If you use colored pencils, it's not going to bleed through at all, so I don't have to worry about it. So I'm using, like I said, the Essentials and the Primaries set from Spectrum Noir. So I use this kind of skin tone set from the Essentials, which is super pale. You almost could leave the skin alone and not color it at all on craft cardstock, but I wanted to give her sort of paler skin because you're kind of thinking, Audrey Hepburn, and she had really pale skin, and I'm taking inspiration from that. I'm not coloring this exactly like Audrey Hepburn looked. But yeah, I did the skin and I blended it out with my odorless mineral spirits. I've done a separate video on that, like in detail. So if you're not familiar with that at all, look up my Prismacolor and odorless mineral spirits video. But I blended the skin, but for the rest of the image, I'm not going to blend at all with odorless mineral spirits, mostly because craft cardstock or any non-smooth cardstock doesn't work very well with blending. Like, it can start to pill up really easily and just not be as smooth. So I just let the pencils kind of do their own thing and I don't worry about blending them. So after blending the skin, everything else I just left as is. So I colored in the hair, and then I'm going on to different areas of her outfit. And I've been having a lot of people ask about my thoughts on the Spectrum Noir pencils, what I think about them compared to the Prismacolors. I haven't had time to do like a separate video on them. I will say they are not as soft and they're not as pigmented as Prismacolor pencils, which I personally am not surprised at, just because Prismacolors are, high quality artist grade, quite expensive. These, though, I do really like that they have like the light, medium, and dark shades all organized for you, so you don't really need to think about it. I just grab the 3 shades of color and can go from there. So especially with something like this, it's just simple. Like, you don't even have to think. You just grab the colors and start coloring from lightest to darkest. Like, really easy. I like how they're organized in their tins, the color selection they have. Yeah, I think it just boils down to price point and what is more easily accessible for you. The Prismacolor sets, it's nice that you can get Prismacolor crayons separately, so you could build up a collection over time if you're anything like me and have to get them all. I got the huge tin like way back, like years ago. They will last you forever. They don't ever dry out, obviously. So it's really up to personal preference. I like both sets. I've been using more of the Spectrum Noir just because they're more easily accessible for everyone. But I do love my Prismacolors. I'll never get rid of them. I'll use them until I use them up. So it's personal preference. I like both. So once I was done coloring in most of the image, I used 3 different shades of gray just to give a little bit of ground, just to ground this image. And then I had left her dress blank. As I said, this is for the Bella Friday challenge, which was paper piecing. So of course her dress had to be paper pieced. And I went completely bright, crazy, fun colors for this card. I'm using this straight paper from Basic Gray's Grand Bazaar pattern paper pack. I thought I would do fun, bright colors. When I think Audrey Hepburn, I usually think classic, black and white, maybe a little bit of red. But if you've been watching any of my videos or posts lately, I've been working on a ton of wedding invites that have a black, red, and cream color scheme. And I just do not want to use those colors for a very long time right now. After you've made a couple hundred, it just, ugh. So I went bright and fun with this. So after stamping the image onto the pattern paper, I'm just trimming out with my scissors, and you see I move the paper more than my scissors and just go along slowly. Trim it out. Images like this are really easy when you choose more kind of linear lines, just simple things to cut out, not a whole lot of fussy cutting. And then I always edge it with a black marker just to cover up that little bit of white that sticks out along the edge and just makes it look more finished and like more of a perfect cut. So to adhere, just really little tiny dabs of my Tombow Mono Multi. That is my like absolute favorite adhesive, especially for paper piecing. But yeah, small dabs of that so that it doesn't ooze out everywhere and create a big mess. And then she's got just this fun pop. I love how it looks on the craft. That was part of it too. I just knew the pattern paper would really pop on the craft cardstock and really stand out. So I thought that'd be fun for this challenge. And then of course I had to add a little bit of bling, so I used my clear Wink of Stella and just lightly went over different areas. I chose clear this time instead of the color, just because the color would be too intense and cover up any of the detail I've created with the colored pencils. And then for the inside of the card, super simple, as simple as you can go really, other than leaving it blank. I just trimmed down 2 tiny little strips of that same straight pattern paper, added a bit of adhesive, and then adhered them on the inside, just right below the little fold of the card, so that the card folds easily and doesn't catch on the pattern paper. And I'm just going to flip that over, trim off the pieces that hang over with scissors, and that's all there was to it. So if you're interested in any of the supplies used on this card, you can check out the info box below. There'll be a link to my blog and to all the supplies and all that fun stuff, so make sure to check that out below. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing and thumbs upping my videos, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!